Chapter 31, in which our hero learns global data costs up to $20.48 per megabyte. Turned out there was something they could do about it. They could handcuff Garland and drag him shouting into a windowless room used by passport control to question suspicious passengers. The soldiers escorted Parker and me in behind him, and we sat in silence while Garland spent the next 5 minutes inventively cursing at no one in particular, before slumping in a chair across from us in defeat. "Hey," I said to Parker, who hadn't looked at me since we left the airplane. "You okay?" She didn't look up, and when Garland caught my eye, he shook his head to discourage me from asking her again. A minute later, Martin Blair and one of the soldiers walked in with our bags and the tray of promised croissants. "Look, Mr. Clean," Garland growled while Martin Blair removed his handcuffs. "That ambulance-chasing weasel has no right to tell me what I can and can't do." "Mr. Lennox, I'm afraid he does," Martin Blair said, taking a seat near the door in case Garland charged him and he needed to get out in a hurry. "Lucian Figg is your legal guardian." "Like hell he is," Garland shouted. "I came down with pneumonia just before Christmas, and when they discharged me from the hospital, Lucian sent me to that damn nursing home. I told every nurse there who'd listen that I'd escaped from Bang Quang prison in Bangkok twice, so getting out of that dump wouldn't be a problem." A quick smile flashed across Martin Blair's face, and I realized, with Garland's fondness of aggrandized details, that it wasn't a stretch for someone to believe he belonged on the crazy hall of a nursing home. "Hell, I wouldn't have stayed as long as I did had those nurses not been so nice to me. And the Salisbury steak is really good. But listen, if Lucian's got some paper claiming he's my guardian, it's because he forged my signature or had me sign something when I was drugged up in the hospital. So I'd like to press charges against him for being a lying asshole." "Mr. Lennox, I've no doubt you're telling the truth. But you have to understand my hands are tied here. When the State Department wakes me up and tells me to put 3 Americans on the next flight to Atlanta, that's what I have to do. No questions asked. If there's been a mistake, if your attorney forged documents, they will straighten it out once you're back home. But my job, my only job, is to get the 3 of you back to your families, and that is what I'm going to do." "You're not sending the girl back to her family," Garland said, and the 3 of us glanced at Parker, but she didn't look up. Martin Blair frowned, shook his head, and mouthed the words, "I know," then said, "Again, Mr. Lennox, I'm terribly sorry, but I'm just doing my job here." After a few painful moments of Garland trying to kill Martin Blair with his eyes, the embassy man turned to me and said, "Edwin, I almost forgot. Your parents are expecting a phone call. Here, use my phone." "I've got my own," I said, pulling my phone from my pocket. "But can I call them outside? I'd rather not have this conversation in front of everyone."